Hello, everyone. Today we are going to have a little Q&A and sort of recap things that happened over the whole BFCM and anything else you all want to talk about. And it's so nice to have you all here. And if you're watching in the replay, say hey in the comment wherever you see this. I appreciate it. Let me know who actually watched this. All right, good. So we've before I start with my questions for you, because if you're new around here, when I say Q&A, that means I got the questions and y'all had the answers. So be prepared to turn your microphone on just in case. Okay? Hey, Olina and Raymond and Amy, you're a Zoom user, but I know you, Amy, because you turned your camera on. So that is so sweet. All right. So just a couple of little updates. Amazon sends us these text sometimes now and lets us know that there's some new. Oh, Amy, I thought you turned on the screen sharing, dear. That there was some new brands. It says the host isn't allowing sharing for this meeting. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And it's okay. I can just post a link in the chat, and I think you guys probably already saw this, but just in case. Hey, Melissa. And if I didn't say hi to Michelle, hey, Michelle. And Sandy, great. I'm glad you're here because I was waiting for you, girl. Stephanie's here. All right, so there's just some new brands that have joined Amazon and have their products available now. If you didn't see this, I think the most exciting one here is, let's see if it's fixed yet. Nope, still not fixed. Most exciting one here is the Wicked for Good, because everybody just loves Wicked. And so just a FYI, I haven't even seen the first Wicked, so I'm behind on that kind of stuff, but I always am. I like to watch stuff after everybody else has already seen it. And then there's a brand called Preston Lane. I am not familiar with it, but um, if going by the picture that they're sharing here, it looks like um more there's a man in one of the pictures, and then there's like some candles and some other things that make me think it's more of like a brand for men or that kind of stuff. And Sophia LaGrange, or I'm sorry, I just put the la in there. Sophia Grange, or if I'm pronouncing it correctly, she has a line with Amazon Essentials, and um, I guess that's separate from when she launched originally with just her stuff. Now she's part of Amazon Essentials, as well as Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato is also now doing Amazon Essentials. So just to add that brand name or that influencer name, I should say, to the Amazon Essentials branding, which I think is very smart of them to do because a lot of the Amazon Essentials things are really good. Basically, everything that I've got that's Amazon Essentials was just as good as the other popular brand. But I think that some people may get turned off by the Amazon Essentials brand name and think that it's less than. So they were smart now. They're having these influencers or celebrities add their name to it. And so to me, That's probably a great way to spread the word a little bit more. So, oh, I got the screen share now. Thank you. So there you go. These are the ones that I was talking about. Now here's the Preston Lane. And like I said, I'm not familiar with it, but looks like it might be a good one. And then Nike. Because I don't buy Nike, it's a funny story. But my daughter's father, we were never married. But anyway, we're still friends. He worked for Adidas and Reebok and all these other brands, but he has friends with Nike. And so I used to have to hear all these stories about sneakers. Oh God, y'all just don't know what I did for free sneakers. But but anyway, there's always tied to Nike whenever I hear about Nike. And one thing I can say from my own personal experience, Nike runs small in sneakers. Okay. Take it from somebody, like I said, we give free sneakers all the time. But that was way back before the Amazon influencer program. Because, my daughter's 42. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And then one more thing before I move on into something else I want to tell you guys about. Amazon Haul is now on Canada. Yay! I know my Canadian friends are excited about that. No, I'm just kidding. It's for me. I don't know about you, so you type in the chat and let me know. For me, Amazon Haul was like, I don't even know why they're taking it to Canada, but I guess somebody likes it. Uh,
Eileen, I had
yes.
the same opinion about Hall all along. And then somebody posted, like, I follow one of those groups, you know what I mean? And she had posted a couple things. So I took a look, and then my friend was like, hey, check this out. And then I went over there and spent like $100 on stocking stuffers for my kids and got everything I needed for stocking stuffers at unbelievable prices, like the dollar store, but Amazon products. So I was shocked.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks so much for sharing that because I guess I was thinking of it more from the influencer side, but from the customer side, yeah, I guess it's a great thing. So thanks for sharing that win, Michelle. And the good thing about the way you did that was getting them for stocking stuffers is you don't have to worry about Prime because Amazon Haul is not part of Prime, so there's no quick delivery or anything like that. But if you're planning ahead for the holiday, you got plenty of time at this point because this is only, the beginning of the month. So good on you. All right, I'm going to go over and read some of these comments that Cheryl said, I never heard of it. And I think you were referring to Wicked for Good, but I'm sure you heard of the movie Wicked, Cheryl. If not, just know that it's popular. And Stephanie says she hasn't seen it either. Been on my watch list for a while now, though. It's not even on my watch list. Like maybe 3 years from now is probably when I'll watch it. Shot with Nick said, I tried to watch the first and could not get through it. Now, see, I can imagine that happening to me as well. And Andrew said, I won't watch Wicked. I'm not into musicals. And now I love musicals. I just the subject matter and maybe it's what I think is the time period and the thought behind it is I'm just the word wicked turns me off, y'all. To be honest with you, I don't like that. It just seems kind of like demonic, but I could be wrong, but I won't know for another 3 years when I watch it. It is different from Amazon Basics. Cheryl said, is it different from Amazon Basics? No, I believe that essentials and basics are the same thing. But like I said, they're just adding these celebrity names to it. It's something that Amazon has reached out to some manufacturer, and I won't say what country, but whatever. And then they just, like this product sells so good. I'll give you a great example. It's the batteries, right? Duracell batteries was the thing for years and years and years and years and years. I don't know why, but all of a sudden they're out of favor. Nobody wants Duracell anymore. I go in Sam's Club. That's where I usually was getting them for like 10 years. All of a sudden, all the Duracells things are gone and there's Ever Ready there. But then on Amazon, there's Amazon Basics. And I get them and they're fine. So there's lots of products like that. That's just the first one that comes to my mind. And oh, and basic things like t-shirts and underwear and all that kind of stuff. They just decided that, hey, we're also going to sell these products because, they have their reasons, and believe me, it's all motivated by money. Well, y'all know that. All right. Okay, and Michelle said the music is great. My kids sing all the time. Good, good, good. Catherine hasn't watched it either. Amy said Wicked items overpriced and was not willing to pay for that, but yet thousands have sold. Megan says I love Wicked, but because of the props, costume, makeup, because of all the props, costumes, makeup, and color saturation. Okay, thanks. Andrew, they have a name brand stuff too. Chinese plastic. I try not to get Chinese plastic junk for my kids. So I think Michelle there is referring to Amazon Haul. And okay, before I get to reading any more of your comments, I got a message from one of our friends here that wants to share some of her experience. Sandy, are you ready?
I'm here. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah. Okay, great, great. Okay. Some of you may have been on this call 2 weeks ago when I was whining about not making more on Creator Connections and saying that my sales were low. But 2 weeks later, after my big whining, I'm actually really happy with how November turned out for me. I actually reached a few personal bests for November that I want to share with you. And more importantly, some of the strategies that I use, some of the learnings, and my go forward. And if you guys have any questions, like just totally just jump in. I may not read all of the comments right away because I'll just be talking. So Eileen, maybe if you can help me out. So I have three personal bests from November. Number one is I've been doing this for 3 years. And this year was my best ever Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales ever. I would say all the other 2 years, it was like it never even happened. This year, I started seeing good numbers the week, maybe even 2 weeks before Black Friday. I started to see it creep up a bit. My second personal best that I achieved was that I was able to claw my way back up to platinum. So I was platinum exactly 1 year ago when they started this whole star program thing. I started off as platinum, but I'm sure I was at the bottom of platinum. I quickly lost my platinum status in January when, everyone was done their shopping, there were returns, and sales just was not great. So it took me a whole year to get back up, but I did. And then my third personal best from November was in the last 2 weeks after my whole whining session with you guys. I saw 5 days in the last 2 weeks where finally my CC, my creative, what do you call it? The creator connections earnings out earn my daily commissions for 5 days in the last 2 weeks. So that's pretty much almost half of the last 2 weeks. So I'm gonna stop whining and I'll start sharing some of my learnings and strategies. And by the way, all of this was done even before I upgraded to Oink Pro, believe it or not. But and by the way, the free version of Oink actually gives you a lot. It will take a little more time and effort to do what you need to do to take advantage of it, but it does offer a lot, and I'll kind of go through some of that as well today. Um, with all of that said, though, I did actually end up using Eileen's code earlier this week, and I did upgrade to Oink Pro, and I'll tell you why as well a little bit later. Okay, so the strategies that worked for me, and again, just disclaimer here, these are the things that I did that I feel worked for me. It may or may not work for you, and you can take some of what I'm doing and try it out for yourself if you're not already doing it. So, number one, in the month of November, I actually was lucky enough to be able to film a few high valued products. And I think for me, high valued is anywhere between 200 and, a couple $1,000s for a single product. Um, so I had a few high value products that did really, really well for me the week leading up to Black Friday. So I had all of my videos done probably early November, knowing that towards the end of November, there would be a potential spike in sales because of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I prepared for that. These high value products continue to do well during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. So not only the week before, but during the weekend as well. So I was obviously really happy about that. And yeah.
Sandy, I'm sorry, I gotta ask this burning question. Because you usually do like crafting and crafting supplies and all that stuff.
Yep.
What were these products outside of your niche, so to
Good.
speak?
Yeah, good question, and I will explain. Yes, they were completely outside of my regular niche. So some of you guys might know I have a craft channel on YouTube, and that's actually, I don't do Amazon full time because I also manage my YouTube channel, and I do crafts and I do tutorials for that. But the craft supplies are usually very low price. And the whole premise of my craft channel is low budget, no budget. So obviously, craft tools and supplies haven't really worked well for me in the Amazon program. But what you guys might not know is I actually come from a tech background. So I'm kind of a computer geek nerd, whatever. And I had a whole career in the tech industry. And then I retired a couple years ago from that, but I'm still a techie. So I was able to film some high value products that were in the tech electronics category. So I won't necessarily say all of the different products, but they were high valued enough that when they converted to sales, it did well for me. Okay, so I continued to sell them during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. So the Friday and the weekend, and then even on Monday. On Monday, I think the sales kind of started dropping off. It looked pretty obvious, but a couple of still squeaked in. So obviously happy about that. Now, the second strategy that worked well for me, which I just mentioned previously, is I have been using the free version of Oink. I actually started using the free version of Oink back in July. So quite recently, and it took me a very long time to be convinced that I should be using Oink at all. At the end of October, early November, I used the feature in the free version of Oink where you can figure out all of the videos that you have that were no longer tagged. So I guess these are like the problematic videos on your storefront that are literally not doing anything for you because they're not even tagged to an ASIN. Now, I think normally this is a pro feature, but somehow I figured out a hack. And I was able to use that feature. So he lets you run a few of the different filters, but there's an export button at the very bottom. And when you do an export, you get everything, not just what you ran, but you get everything. I didn't know that, so it's not like I was trying to hack his his software. Would not want you guys to do that. But lo and behold, when I exported the data, everything was there, so I could see what was not tagged, and I went through the entire list right before Black Friday, and I fixed quite a lot of my videos, maybe a couple hundred. I don't know. I still have a couple of hundred that are not tagged, but actually, I'm not doing anything with that. I'm not deleting them, because what I also discovered is that some of those untagged videos, the brands restocked and started selling them again. And I knew that because I used to have a product that would sell um, every week. I would sell several. And then all of a sudden, I noticed it stopped selling. So when I ran that export, I checked for that product, and that product was on the untagged list. I'm like, oh, that's too bad, because I was doing good with that. And then a week later, I reran that export, and it was no longer on the list. And I reran it because I saw it on my daily sales report again. I'm like, wait a second, I thought that wasn't tagged and I couldn't fix it. So I guess my learning is, if it has an available ASIN, so it still has a product page on Amazon, if it says currently unavailable, there's still a chance it will come back. And for my product, it did come back. So I would not recommend deleting the video, because you never know, it might come back. If it has, if you look up that ASIN and you end up getting the Amazon dogs, it's probably safe to remove your video if you want to clean things up. I don't know if it would make a difference or not, but that's kind of my general rule going forward. The third strategy that I incorporated in October, November was tagging my most recent videos with parent ASINs. And I know there's a debate whether you should or shouldn't, and it does take time, and it took me a whole week to go through my most recent videos to actually get the parent ASINs tagged. And I know there's also a debate, if you take a video and you edit it by adding the parent ASIN, it might take you out of the carousel. Well, I discovered that that's not actually the case, at least from my experience. Pretty much almost every single video that I retagged with a parent ASIN, I stayed on the carousel if I was on the carousel. So what I suspect is Amazon only will look at your video and potentially remove you from the carousel if you're making a change to your video. But if you're just slightly editing it by adding another ASIN, or maybe just rewording your title, I think it might go through a faster approval process. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I experienced, because I went back and checked a whole bunch of my videos that I retagged with the parent ASINs. And I took a gamble, because some of them I was on the top carousel and they were making me money. And I discovered I was still on the carousel and I was still making money. So that was my experience there. The fourth strategy, fixing, I already talked about the fixing the untagged videos. The fifth strategy, and I think Andrew might appreciate this, I have seen and heard and read a lot of people saying unboxing videos have no value. And I used to think that too, a little bit. I mean, I still did do it even before, this year, but I felt like it was just a way for me to build out my storefront. Not necessarily true. I'll give you guys an example. So one of my high valued products was sitting in my basement for probably 2 weeks. And it was a tech product, and it's something that I would need to spend time setting up. So it's not a plug and play and everything just works and it's easy. It would take time. And the style of videos I typically do are tutorial style because that's what I do, even on my craft channel. Everything I do is more like a tutorial. So my videos are a little bit longer. But I thought, you know what? Black Friday's coming up. Who knows? Let me just put up something. And an unboxing video is quick. It's easy. You don't have to think too much about it. Um, so what I ended up doing was I took that high value product, a tech product, and I did a detailed unboxing. So obviously take it out of the box and show you what the packaging looks like, but I kind of did more than that. I took the product and I showed every single physical feature that was worth talking about and explained what the feature would be used for if I were to use it. Um, and that unboxing video ended up selling me quite a few units of that product as well as related products of the same brand, as well as related products that were not of the same brand, all from that one unboxing video. So, those of you out there who have things sitting in the basement or in storage that you haven't gotten around to, if it's close to a holiday season, a high shopping time season, it might be well worth it. If it's a $5 product, maybe not. But if it's a higher valued product, you might want to consider doing an unboxing video for that because it worked out for me. And I didn't think it would, by the way. I was pretty skeptical. But I figured, hey, at the very least, I'll further build out my storefront with another video, if nothing else. But I was able to get more than that. And the last strategy I want to share with you guys is I know a lot of you, or maybe not a lot, some of you are very niched in what you film for your storefront, and that's completely fine. I'm niche. I started out niched. I started out with low value crafting tools and related products. And I have done sales in there, by the way. It works. Offsite, it works. Not a lot, but it does work. But for those of you who don't have a niche and you kind of walked into the Amazon influencer program thinking, hey, this could be side hustle. Maybe I can make some money. You can. You can do that without doing this full time, and you can do it without a niche. You can diversify your storefront, which is what I now have, is a storefront of about 1,000 videos from every single category. And I have a lot of low value products, by the way. Um, I hate spending my money on things that I don't need. So, I don't spend a lot in terms of buying products just to sell, just to film. Um, so it's possible to do that. Um, so no, you don't need to have a niche. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. You can do, everything in your house, then go to your friend's house, go to your family's house, film that. If you're traveling and you go to an Airbnb, you can do that as well. There are creative ways to get products in hand to film. And that's what I've had to do because I'm up here in Canada. Nobody wants to ship anything in Canada, or I shouldn't say nobody, because through Creator Connections, I did message some brands, and some of them did send me stuff. So I'm thankful for that. But it is a little more tougher up here in Canada because it's difficult to ship. It's more expensive to ship to Canada. Okay, so I'll pause. I have one more spiel I want to share in terms of why I upgraded to Pro, but if you guys all have any questions, go ahead. Let me know. I don't know, Eileen, if you're tracking
I,
any.
no, I don't see any, but I will read out a few comments. And Antoine, who we know does a lot of tech and gear, like he just says unbox, unbox, unbox.
Great.
Thank you,
Great.
Antoine. And Antoine, if you could turn your mic on and let us know how any of your unboxing videos are doing right now or did over the.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't, if you guys watch me, I got one brand that pretty big brand. It does well for me. And I always make an unboxing video. And my unboxing video is actually making more money because it gets me on the page quicker. So then when I have to make a more detailed video, detail more video, it really works out really well. So I always start with an unboxing because the brand wants a video out quick. I can unbox quick. And as I'm learning the product, I'll probably create 4 or 5 more. So unboxing gets you started, and that was my tip.
That's amazing because, like I said, when we hear some folks saying, don't do this and don't do that, and we have to always think, people are using a different lens. Like, for example, some people say, oh, if there's no upper carousel, forget it. I'm not even going to consider it. Well, that's like saying for all of us who do fashion, don't ever do a fashion video because there ain't no upper carousel. And we got to do the fashion. Hello. Especially if we are investing and we're buying the stuff anyway because we wear it, right? So we have to do those that don't have upper carousels. And I think it's great if people don't have to do them. That's have at it. That's wonderful. But just, this is why this group is so amazing. This is why we have this think tank because there's different opinions and different experiences. And that's exactly why I asked Sandy the question about going outside of her niche. We've heard this niche thing ever since we got online. We don't have a niche on Amazon. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to because people aren't following your page. They're not following you like they would on YouTube or Instagram. They're looking for a product and they want answers to questions about a product, or they just want to see the product, or they just like seeing it. Okay, there's a video, I'll watch it. They may not even be paying attention to a darn thing you said, but they went and they bought the product. So, cha-ching, cha-ching. Come on, Michelle. I know you got something to say because you turned your camera on.
Yeah, well, I had a couple questions, and the first one is for Antoine and Sandy, and I saw Andrew also said he does a lot of unboxings. When you say unboxing, are we talking about this is what came in the mail today? Let me show you what's inside of it. Let me take this out. Here's the cord. Here's the model. I mean, here it is. Buy. Is that a minute, 2 minutes, and you're not doing any other demo other than the unboxing? And then my other question is for Sandy. Sandy, I saw that someone else posted it. You were cutting out, and so I wasn't able to get the full gist of your thing. Could you just give me like the top? Would you summarize? Like one was the oink. I heard that part, and the unboxing. That's where the unboxing conversation started. But I missed two of the points because of the cutting out. I'm not asking for you to summarize everything. Just like give me the highlights on that. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Should I go first or? Okay. Okay. The To answer the first question, the unboxing, yes. What I did and what I usually do for unboxing videos is I take the package the unopened package and I open it in front of the camera and I take out all of the pieces and parts that it comes with and I'll explain, oh, it came with this, it came with that, and oh, these two go together and you need this because of that. So I'll explain the pieces and parts. And then I'll go through just the features, the physical features of the product. So if you order, say, a hub, for instance, for your computer, you're going to say how many ports, what kind of ports, and what the ports could be useful for. An unboxing for me is usually under a minute because I want to make it really quick and very concise and short because the people just want to see what you got. They don't really see anything else. My subsequent videos, subsequent to the unboxing, so this is to Antoine's point, is I usually want to make at least 2 videos for larger products, more complicated products. So I'll do an unboxing, but then I'll go into more detail with a second video, a separate video about here's how to set up the product, here's what it looks like when it's set up, or here's how I use the product, and I'll demo it. So that would be my second and maybe even my third video for that same product. That way you can double down, triple down. Hopefully that answers your question, your first question. The second question, I'm sorry that I was cutting out for some of you guys. I hope you can still hear me, but I guess I'll just do a really quick summary. Strategies that worked for me, a few high-valued products. You don't need a lot, just a few. That worked for me. Using free Oink, you can definitely upgrade to Pro, but if you don't have the budget, don't break your bank. There's lots of features you can leverage just from using the free version of Oink. Number 3, tagging parent ASINs. Don't go through your entire storefront. That might take a long time if you've got, several hundreds of videos. Tag the most recent ones, or maybe the higher valued products that have parent ASINs, or your most frequently sold items in your storefront. Tag the parent ASINs for those. Number 4, fixing untagged videos. So using Oink, figure out which of your products are no longer tagged to an ASIN and find another ASIN that is for the same product and tag that right away. Because sometimes for the same product, you've got multiple brands selling the exact same thing. So you just do a quick search on Amazon. If you find another ASIN that is for the same product, retag your video. We talked about unboxing videos. Those do work and those do convert. And then you don't have to have a niche. If you just want to do stuff around your house and your family's house or your friend's house, that is perfectly fine. In fact, like Eileen said earlier, people are not necessarily following you on Amazon. They could be shopping for anything in the home category, in the tech category, in the clothing and fashion category, health category, you name it. So you can diversify your storefront and just film whatever you have that you have access to. You don't have to niche down. So that's a quick summary. Hope that helps.
Yeah, can I just say, yeah, over the holidays, I was able to go visit some family members, and I feel bad. I'm going to be honest. I was in their house and I was filming, I mean, I filmed these beautiful lights I would have never bought. And like you say, I normally do tech stuff, and those things are starting to sell. I'm like, what? Is something wrong with me? I'm telling you, I'm just filming everything.
You're addicted. Well, as long as you didn't spend all your time filming and you did spend time with your family. That's what we want to know,
Yeah, I
Antoine.
did. I did.
Okay. All right. And you might need to go back and just visit, just like, hey, I'm just
Oh,
here
they got
now.
they got more money than I got. I need to do
Yeah,
that.
that's right. You never know when you might be willed something. Never mind. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, the conversation in the chat is all about getting remodeling done and filming folks, that are coming in to remodel. Yeah, I have a little bit of that stuff going on too. And also, just so you know, Sandy, it was just certain people that were having the problem with the in and out, and it was on their end. Your sound is is great. It was just some tech glitches. It's probably Zoom as well. So, and depending upon what device people are on. People, Megan is doing or well, she's seen bathtub, shower doors, light fixtures. Cheryl's getting a bunch of stuff done at her place, and she's like not even worrying about the sales. She just glad she doesn't have to pay for these products. So, Iyajama says, with you, Antoine, I'm so glad I've got relatives richer than me. Yeah, amen for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, Sandy, let's wrap things up here. Your conversation
Yeah.
here. You said
Yeah.
you have one more strategy to share.
Yep.
We're on edge of our seats.
Okay. Actually, so I was going to talk about why I finally ended up upgrading to Pro, because it did take me almost half a year to be convinced that I probably should. But before I do that, I did forget one more tip that has worked for me. I know there's always a lot of talk about, hey, is there an upper carousel? Is there room for the upper carousel? Obviously, if there's an upper carousel, you got more chances. Obviously, if there's room on the upper carousel, you've got more chances. But in my experience, just because there's no upper carousel or there's no more room because there's like 10 videos up there already, it doesn't mean you should bypass filming your product. In my experience, again, this high valued product that I keep talking about, there were a few. Um, I I don't know if they had an upper carousel because I don't see any videos in the top part of the page. My videos were showing up at when you have to like scroll down the page, maybe towards the bottom or towards the middle. That's where my videos were showing up. And a few of my products, there were maybe one or two videos, and I think maybe one had no other videos. So I kind of lucked out there. But my point is, I don't typically worry that much about whether there's an upper carousel or if there's room. As long as I have the product in hand, if I think it's a good sell, like if it's going to sell, and you can tell that by looking at the Amazon listing, I'm going to go ahead and do a video or two on it, regardless. So that's helped me. Okay, so the reasons why I upgraded to Pro. So what you guys may not know about me is I'm really, really frugal. And that's part of the whole premise of my craft channel is low budget, no budget crafts. But I enjoy good things. I enjoy the riches, when I can. And who doesn't love making money, right? So I was using the free version of Oinks only since July, so almost half a year, and I kept reading about everybody saying how you got to upgrade to Pro. Meanwhile, I'm using the free version and I'm catching stuff on Creator Connections. Now, granted, I have to put a little disclaimer, my sales volumes have not been that high. So it was really easy for me to run a report of my real-time sales. And as the orders trickle in, just click on that one or two orders that I have in the hour and see if there's a creator connection, because it will tell you as long as you're logged into Amazon with I guess your influencer ID or whatever, it will tell you at the very top at the bar whether there's a creator connection campaign for that product or not. If there is, click and then I accept. And that's how I've been surviving this last half of the year, to be able to get just a few dollars of creator connections commissions. But Getting the Pro, oh my gosh, it runs fast because I also ran the storefront fetch. And with 1,000 videos, it took at least 3 hours. And sometimes it wouldn't finish because Amazon servers were slow and wouldn't send a response back. And then the whole thing would just hang. With the Pro version, with 1,000 videos, like by the time I'm done my workout, it's done. And I just quickly go through it and just see, I'm just curious to see what it catches, and then I move on with the rest of my day. Now, I do still make it a habit of checking my real-time orders manually because, again, I'm only getting a couple of an hour, even if that. So it's just a quick 1 or 2 clicks, and then I just continue with the rest of my work. I'm on the computer a lot, so it's not a big deal for me. But doing the storefront fetch is super, super fast. And the other thing is, with my manual checks, compared that with the Pro version actually did end up catching stuff that I missed. So I'm human, I'll miss things. The Pro version will catch what I've missed. So that's another really great reason to upgrade to Pro. Um, the third thing is, now that I clawed my way back up to platinum, I'm and I, by the way, earlier this year, I was told by a brand that reached out to me. Uh, um, as soon as I said, "Here's my fee," they replied back with, "Oh, well, we only pay and provide free samples to top creators," and that really, really got me down. So now that I'm top creator, what I want to do is double down on the fact that I'm top creator. I'm going to go back into Creator Connections, reach out to these brands, and lead off with the fact that I'm a top creator. So I'll introduce myself and tell them I'm a top creator. And then I'm going to use Fizz's templates. You can create templates in the Pro version, and I'm going to send a bunch of messages to brands that I want to help promote. And I'm going to try and see if they can get some free samples up to Canada for me. I've only sent 10 messages in the last day or so, and I've already gotten a few responses back. So I know that this is going to save a lot of time for me. So that's another reason why I decided I wanted to upgrade to Pro. And the last reason really is Fizz. I have been watching all of the feedback, and I also watch his YouTube videos on his channel. This guy is constantly updating the extension. He's constantly adding features. And what I did notice that the latest new features have all been accessible only through the Pro version. So I know he's going to continue to add features to the extension in 2026. And I want to be there to be able to leverage those features for my Amazon business. So I figured I'm going to take advantage of the fact that he's going to be, I think he already increased the price. So I actually purchased it at the old price. And on top of that, I used Eileen's code to get that 10% discount. So I figured might as well do that and take advantage of the Pro version features for 2026. So that's all the reasons why I upgraded to Pro, even though I'm frugal and I hate spending my own money.
Well, thank you for using my code. And also, if everybody can get to the reactions button, can y'all give Sandy a hand for becoming platinum again? Yay!
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congrats. That is so, and for sharing all of this information and breaking it down. And, you can tell that this was all thought out. It was strategic. And this is what, oh, where's Alto V's? This is what Alto V's be telling us all the time, right? To have your strategies and to take things, and you've actually dissected what needed to be done and also all the benefits that you we're missing out on versus the benefits that you now are able to take advantage of, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, and I will say, Megan, can you unmute? Because I can't read your comment. I want you to say it out loud. I hope you can unmute, Megan. Um, that when it comes to the site stripe, okay, while we're waiting for Megan, I gotta give everybody a little heads up about site stripe. And what site stripe is not always accurate. It's just like anything with Amazon. Sometimes they don't update that site stripe to say that something has a campaign. And if it's a frequently returned item, that frequently returned uh, notification is going to cover up whether it's a Creator Connections or not. So I'll give you a perfect example. About a month ago, they introduced Charlotte Tilbury. And just like I showed you guys today, they showed, oh, new brands. And I clicked on it. And I was thinking, I'm not paying, whatever high price it was. I don't care. Charlotte Tilbury didn't even mean I had to look her up on Google to find out who she was. So I was ready to move on. But then Oink showed me that little button that said request product or request product, which means there's a Creative Connections campaign. But that did not show up on Site Stripe. But what I did was I clicked on the ASIN. I clicked the ASIN from Oink, but you could get it from there's a bunch of different ways. I could have just got the ASIN from the URL, but I got it from Oink because it was a button. And I went over to Creator Connections, and sure enough, I signed up because it was a Creator Connections for. So I know SiteStripe usually is accurate. I'll say 85% of the time it's accurate, but especially if there's a newer campaign, it won't be updated on SiteStripe. So I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know. Don't always depend on SiteStripe. Sometimes you can kind of get an inkling like this looks like it might have a creator. Just check the ASIN and go over to Creator Connections and double check it. SiteStripe is not 100% accurate on the Creator Connections. And Megan, you ready?
Yep.
Go
Yep.
ahead.
Are you talking about the last comment I said to Sandy?
Yeah, yes, to Sandy, right?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
I said, way to go, Sandy. Thank you for your thoughtful insight on how you crawled your way back up. It's very inspiring because this journey is all about the ebb and flow. That's why we have this group is so we can learn from each other and hopefully make the ebb and flow not so painful. So, when you get down, get back up again, kind of thing.
Absolutely. And how was your BFCM? I never get used to saying it.
I am actually really happy with my numbers. My numbers have gone up. I've really I've had more focus. I've been trying to aim for a certain amount of videos per day. And it's interesting that like working on I don't know what it is. I feel like some of it is self-sabotage for me. Like I won't let myself like hit goals. Like I don't think I deserve it or something. Maybe that's imposter syndrome. I don't know. But it is a mental thing, but you have to get into the consistency of doing something. It just becomes a habit. And like after 30 days, it becomes a habit. And so when you fall out of habits and you get into bad habits, then you gotta relearn the good ones. That's so that's been my major change for this past month. That and and using the Oink extension for like low performing videos and going back and fixing stuff like that. Because when you don't feel like being creative, it's still something you can do that's low energy, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, and I see people talking about Site Stripe, and you're welcome, Sandy, for and also Nick, Shop with Nick, you said that you've got the merch on demand now. Congratulations. How is it going now that you've got in? The next step is to start selling some stuff. How's that going so far? Are you getting clicks at least? Um, and you can type in the chat if you can't make it to the mic. And so yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
there
can
she
unmute
is.
the mic. Sorry, I didn't. What am I doing here? I don't know if I'm on
Hey,
camera.
girl.
I don't know if you got. Oh, yeah, you can see me. Okay. Um, it's going. I mean, I just push for friends and family to buy so I can get my first like 10 sales, and I'm kind of just going through learning right now. They don't tell you statistics on clicks or anything like that, which is frustrating. But yeah, I mean it's going okay, and I'm falling into some pitfalls and climbing my way out of them, and uh, been real comfortable with support and them helping me out with things I don't understand. I'm actually going to do a video on like the like top 10 things that I've learned in the past. Like, I mean, I've only been in about 2 weeks now, and yeah, I'm going to do a
Y-
video on some of the pitfalls because when I'm looking for videos for these things on these pitfalls, that no one has one. So I'm
You're
going to
gonna
put
put it
one.
on YouTube, you mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on
Okay.
my YouTube. Yeah,
All
and I'll
right.
share it on my Facebook too, so you can. I mean, oh, you follow me on YouTube, so yeah,
Yeah,
you'll see it
yeah.
there too.
But we can you can feel free to post the link in the Logie group
Oh,
because,
okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's perfectly fine.
yeah, and it's cool
Yeah.
because influencers get like 4% if someone buys like something from like one of the Amazon merch products. So I can't get it on my own stuff, but other people can get it on somebody else's Amazon merch items.
Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome. Oh, Olena, thank you so much, Nick. Olena, do you want to turn your mic on? I see your question and it's Andrew did give his opinion, but I would love to hear your voice if you can turn your mic on. We'd love to hear from you. And for those who were wondering when Sandy was talking about the templates that you can make inside of Oink, and that has to do with the messaging system inside of Creator Connections. And so, just to make it easier on yourself, on the Pro version, there is a template that will it has placeholders there. So it will take the ASIN of the product that you want and stick that in the right spot for when you send the message and other things that it will use this placeholder so that you can send that message. And it just makes the messaging easier. Hey, Olena.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right. And what is your handle? Because I see your handle, but sometimes I keep forgetting, like, is that her or
Yeah, it's Olina OJC.
okay.
Yeah. So I actually have a question about shoppable photos because I heard somebody was saying they're supposed to be like 9 by 16 or 1 by 1, but I have been creating mine is like what 4 by 5, and they were having very good traction and good views. So I kind of was just confused, like, do I need to change my format or just keep it like that? Just kind of wonder what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm along with Andrew. I kind of agree with what he said. It doesn't matter um, in a sense that what my goal with them when I came up with a dimensions was based on the collage tool that Amazon has the Amazon collage tool. So I had those dimensions. But then when you look at it on a storefront, because it all depends upon where people are seeing your image, right? Your photo. I was looking at it on my storefront and it still looks like it's got a little blurriness around the edges. So that wasn't the answer. So I've been testing different sizes, but I don't think it really matters because when it comes to photos, you have no idea where they're going to show it.
That's true.
So as long as it's, in my opinion, vertical, they say they accept square. I never see square photos, but maybe others do, and maybe others have had some success with square photos. I don't see them. But
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I wish we had more information. And question for those, this is from Nicole, who do fashion. Is it worth the time and effort compared to other categories? Do you find brands are willing to send samples? Oh, I don't reach out for samples, but I could tell you when it comes to fashion, there's just sometimes something just takes off and it just keeps selling and selling and selling. And then all of a sudden it just stops selling because you get bumped off the carousel, right? So, when you say, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Antoine. That's the quick version, but here's the longer version. Well, worth it. How much are you going to spend? I don't spend a lot of money on anything I buy on Amazon as far as fashion. That's just me. But they do have high end and luxury brands out there now. You can buy pocketbooks for $2,500. Like, for example, I'm glad you brought that up because I meant to tell you guys about this. The Amazon influencers has their own storefront. Did y'all know that? Let me give y'all the link. And when I went on there, I was like, wait a minute, they got a bunch of high price stuff over here on there. Oh, shucks. Sometimes I have to. Okay, here is it's Amazon Influencer Program is the handle of their, and I will do some screen sharing in a second. I just want to make sure I grab one of the ones that had all the high-end creator looks from CFDA, which was some fashion awards thing. Let me just show you. Yeah, everything on here is high price. Like a little pocketbook, Oxford de la Renta, $2,300. Is it worth it to buy a $2,300 Oscar de la Renta? No, that's not worth it. You know, some of them, the prices aren't even there because the item's probably not even available anymore, and they don't update the thing. Uh, these Giuseppe Zanotti, well, I would never even when I was wearing heels, I would never even try to put my foot in that. But there's probably thousands of people who do, and I'm not hating on them. But, back to your question, worth it? It just all depends upon your budget. When you're talking about investing. Now, as far as getting brands to send you stuff, I think it's probably easier to get fashion brands to send stuff. And a lot of times they tell you in their Creator Connections campaign that yeah, use this form, Google form. Those are the ones I usually look for. Somebody else may have more experience with that than me because I actually don't reach out to brands that way. I just usually the stuff that I already buy from me, that's the stuff that's the fashion stuff that I share. Megan says, I've done several high-end fashion collages, but have not really seen much sales. Okay, yeah, on the high-end fashion. It's weird because you kind of got to put yourself in the mindset of the person, and the person that's going to buy high-end things on Amazon may ignore collages. They may not. I don't know. You might be able to use the collage tool, Megan, and just tag one or two items. I don't know how many items you typically have on your collages, but like a pair of shoes and a matching handbag. Still, it kind of looks like a photo, really, when somebody's looking at it, because they don't know all of the rules and the hoops that we have to jump through to make sure that we remove the background and all that other stuff. Just all depends. So experiment with it. The good thing about photos, it's quick. Nobody can sit here and talk about how much time they spent. Yeah, it's so fast. That's why we say the same thing about the Logi products. Hey, just make a little quick collage or post a photo. It's super quick and then you're done. So and Michelle said AI makes it in seconds. And Nicole said, thanks, you're welcome. All right. It is a little past the hour. If there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about, please, please, please share it at the 2 p.m. session or hold it for next week. And we can talk about it. Andrew, thanks for all of the stuff that you've been typing. And I meant to see if you were ready to unmute, but it's the top of the hour now. So I'll look forward to hearing from you next week. Okay. And I thank you also very much. Thank you, Ehud. Thank you, Emmy. I want y'all to have a great, great week and see you at the 2 p.m. session. And, make sure you watch the replay of this in case you missed anything that Sandy shared with us because she dropped some golden nuggets on y'all today. Okay? With that, I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye.